Mayor Brandon Johnson cast his ballot for Kamala Harris today, and he says the first person who came to mind was his daughter. The mayor voted this morning at the Lorraine Hansberry Apartments at Lake and Parkside. He said Harris and Tim Walz have a clear vision for America that includes investing in affordable homes and mental health services.
And the mayor has been stumping for Vice President Kamala Harris.
He joins us live now to talk about the importance of this election. Mayor Johnson, thank you for being with us. Before we get to the election, I want to ask you about the loss of Officer Enrique Martinez. So sad, another Chicago police officer. I know at the press conference last night, Superintendent Snelling said, in a city where officers aren't safe, it's going to be hard for others to feel safe, that violent repeat offenders need to be kept off the streets. At that time, and then I know again today, you said you had hope. What gives you that hope?
Well, the people of Chicago we are a resilient people, and we are a grateful people. And, my condolences have been extended to Officer Martinez's family and to the entire police department. I was with his colleagues today as they were preparing to go right back out into the streets of Chicago to keep us safe. And of course, there's a great sense of loss and grief, but there is a tremendous amount of determination to make sure that our communities are fully supported and invested in. I'm hopeful because, tragedy doesn't define our city. We rise well above the occasion every single time. These senseless acts of violence certainly grip the hearts of people across this city. And as a father raising a family right here on the west side of Chicago, we've certainly experienced and seen our share of violence. However, even with all of those circumstances and challenges that we have faced, we have seen a decline in homicides, shootings, vehicular hijackings, robberies, criminal sexual assaults. We are trending in the right direction. We have a long way to go, but I'm very confident that our police force and the people of Chicago will continue to step up to ensure that a better, stronger, safer Chicago is fully achieved.
Sir, to the race for president, we all know the city is in a big financial crunch. If Kamala Harris is elected president, would you expect to get more federal dollars awarded to Chicago than, let's say, her opponent Donald Trump is elected? And if so, why?
Well, I can say that, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Walz have been very clear about investing in our public education system. Hundreds of millions of dollars for school districts across America. Vice President Kamala Harris is very much committed to creating homeowners and building more affordable homes, as well as investing in mental and behavioral health. This is a record that she has had in her current capacity. I'm confident that our success tonight and making history, that the people of Chicago will certainly benefit from a Harris-Walz administration. The other thing that I'm actually confident in is, under the Biden-Harris administration, the Inflation Reduction Act, which was a bipartisan effort to infuse hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars into our economy to build a green, blue, sustainable economy. As you all know, 20% of the world's fresh water is right in our front yard between Lake Michigan and the St. Lawrence River. So with environmental justice, behavioral and mental health, affordable homes, making sure we're investing in our public education system, and finally, building the entrepreneur spirit here in Chicago. Vice President Kamala Harris is committed to building and creating 1 million more entrepreneurs. This is very much aligned with my $1.25 billion investment in housing and economic development. As you all know, it's the largest single investment in the history of Chicago. So there's alignment there. As a pro-worker city, as a pro-business city, Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Walz certainly imbibe the makeup of what we're doing in the city of Chicago. And I'm confident that their leadership will certainly reign true, not just for the city of Chicago, but the people across this country.
Mayor, so many of those issues that you mentioned are certainly important to people, but safety is top of mind for Chicagoans as well. We've got carjackings, we've got shootings. We saw one at Navy Pier today. And I know that's one thing that Donald Trump has said he would address. How do you think Democrats, either here in Chicago or at the national level, will address violence and crime?
Well, you're seeing the national numbers where there's been a decline in all of the major violent categories since I've been in office, right? Last year, we had a 13% decrease. This year, of course, we're seeing the trends move in the right direction. Look, we didn't get here overnight. These challenges won't be solved overnight. But what I'm confident in is what the results that we've experienced thus far. The way we address it is the way I've said we should do it here in Chicago. We have to solve crime. I made a commitment to hire more detectives, 200 more, in fact, by the end of my first term. Well, we're going to complete that goal by the end of this year. We'll have 3 helicopters in our care, essentially, that can be deployed around the city. But the part that's also important here is that the way to build a better, stronger, safer communities, you have to invest in them. We have a 32% increase in youth employment. 28,000 young people experience summer opportunities. We're going to continue to expand that. Again, we've built 3,400 affordable homes. Our community colleges enrollment is up 11, 12%. The number one subgroup of registrants for our community colleges are Black young men. So you're already seeing that the investments that we've put forward in the last 18 months, $20 billion of new investment that has come to the city of Chicago since I've been in office. Building a better, stronger, safer Chicago requires investments, but it also requires strategic investments in law enforcement. But it's not law enforcement alone. It includes behavioral and mental health care services, of which we've expanded, reopening mental health clinics, expanding our CARES programs so that the 40% of 911 calls that come through that are mental health crises, we now have trained behavioral health care professionals showing up for those crises so that law enforcement can pay attention to some of the other critical challenges that we have. So that's the vision that the Democratic Party has had. You're seeing a decline in every single major category of violence across this country, and Chicago certainly is leading the way.
Mayor, we're going to have to end on that note. We could talk to you for hours, but we are fresh out of time. We thank you for your time. Be well.
You're welcome.